Okay, this is part 2. I put the second coat of the watercolor ground on my attempt to correct this painting, and it is smoother. I would say it's more opaque, even though I can still see some of the more intense colors coming through. The ruts did not totally smooth out. If I put a third coat on, that might happen, but I feel that you need to weigh the effort against the cost and all this stuff. I think I could keep doing this and eventually triple the investment of trying to save this painting. And technically I'm not saving the painting, I'm starting to create a new one. So going forward, I would say that, like other artists who have commented, I think this is not the best way to go about salvaging a painting. The best way, I would say at this point, if I were doing this for a person as a gift or for a fundraiser or whatever, I would either flip it over and do a new painting on the other side, or get another sheet of paper and save this for just playing around, checking color mixes, swatching, technique, whatever, so that it isn't totally wasted, but you're not putting so much time into it that you're really not saving anything. So I wanted to test now whether the ground affects another painting, if it's going to feel just like the paper, or whether this is going to be something that you can't even use once you put it on correctly. So I want to test it with the masking fluid to see if it affects masking fluid. I want to test it with student grade paint and with watercolor pencil. I want to use the pencil to do my drawings so that I don't have a bunch of pencil lines, because I don't really like that in my work, unless it's a certain type of artwork. I also bought specific watercolor brushes. Most of my brushes are what you could use on mixed media, and they're not really truly watercolor, so I did invest in a mediocre grade synthetic squirrel watercolor brush, because that's what it appears most people seem to use, and so I wanted to use it on the ground to see if there's a difference. I do have a handful of what I guess you would call high-end paint. Whenever a sale goes on a Gallo paints, I try to get it 1 or 2 at a time. This is all I have, so you can see I haven't gotten very many of them. Some of these granulate. I was curious if the ground would affect the granulation, improve it, make it worse, not work, whatever. These are handmade in Italy, and they don't have any kind of cadmium, lead, or any of that in them. If you can afford to get them, I recommend doing so. Not only are you supporting a person that's art is the mixing of the paint, but they're very high quality paints, and they're worth every penny, even though you will have to invest a little bit in them. Okay, now, I printed out from my website one of my traceables or coloring pages, depending how you want to use it, because the reference photo I took that from, I thought would be a good image to try these different things on to make a painting for test. I don't intend on selling it or gifting it or anything in particular. I just want to test the techniques. I did use the grid pattern method to get the proportions for the flower fairly correct. So it's not an identical copy of the reference, but it, I think, will be representative of the flower. So between these two things, I wanted to have something that maybe most people could relate to in an artwork piece, using each one of these techniques in some fashion, and water and the brushes, the whole thing, and we'll see how the ground affects them. It may turn out to be a disaster. I'm going to warn you ahead of time. It's my first experience using the ground, and some of my first experience trying to use all these things in one project. And so we're going to find out together how this is going to go. I'll see you in part 3. Hopefully we can create something beautiful.